Saturday Showdown. T1 versus Hanjin
Mustard, which is not spelled correctly. That's why I didn't say it correctly on the screen. I'm glad that we got to read that one out. And now I'm also glad that we are in Champion Select.
We're just straying further from the light.
We really are. It's not quite working out here. All right, let's see what bands are going to be coming on through here for the second game of the series. Brad going to be taken away.
Yep. Once again, leading with that first ban of the Brad. It's second pick again for Gen.G. I think, honestly, DN Supers had a lot of strength. The first three, the Ash, Seraphine, Zinzao, really strong. And there was a lot of good moments for them in that game, but it's just that missing that extra % that would have taken them to the finish.
Yeah. And
Gen.G having the decisive team fight to close it out. I think, once again, kind of similar to our first series, which had a close game one, and it can sometimes be hard when you have a close game one to be like, you know, you don't want to throw everything out, you want to tweak, you want to adjust. I think it can sometimes be easier to just say, okay, everything went wrong, let's just scrap that.
Yep.
Obviously, with it being fearless, you don't really get to adopt any of the picks from this series, from the game before, sorry, but I think
the playstyle can always be brought forward.
Yeah. They had some good ideas, so we'll see what they can do with that. Rai's going to get banned away by the DN Supers here. Orianna taken out as well.
Nocturne is kind of the big one, and Varus.
Yeah,
both of them being available.
Being there. Possibility of a flex. We saw this played in the previous series as a flex, so something that Keen has to look out for and be aware of.
I'm not sure about how Keen, how good he is on the Anivia top, because what I think Keen would like to go towards is something like an Aurora top that he has been very good at in the past, and surprisingly, he's liked to play the Rise as well. But Yunara Lulu just going to be locked in here for Ruler and Duro, and that is a pretty powerful pairing already picked up. It's a lot of P's that I used there. I apologize for the alliteration.
It's strong for the late game, but for me, I'm kind of thinking, do you just put the Varus bot lane then and just really punish this in the 2v2?
Yeah, it could be an option.
You know, I'm thinking stuff like Varus Nico has the potential to really bully this out. But for now, they're going to go for the Rise group special, the Wukong Annie, which last year kind of ran. I mean, honestly, it was running the Rise group, but it was also great in the Legend group. That pairing, really strong, great engage when you're playing into a Yunara, but the Maokai comes through for Gen.G, which in terms of controlling the pace of the game, denying some of these engage picks, but also having engaged itself when you have a Lulu, it kind of ticks a lot of boxes for Gen.G.
Wukong is kind of good into it, though, because you get to just put up a decoy and then avoid the ultimate, but there are certainly some options here for the Maokai composition, because now Chovy could play Yone. He could play all sorts of crazy things in that mid lane, because there will be some extra magic damage coming out of the jungle, assuming that's where the Maokai is going.
Yeah.
Unless it's what Keen has cooked up as his answer to the Varus, but I'm not sure whether that's a thing.
That sounds painfully miserable.
Yeah. Archers generally shoot trees when they're practicing. And so I would imagine
But the tree tends to be fine afterward.
Oh, that's a good point. But he does have a lot of arrows in him.
Yeah.
And the tree doesn't generally do anything back at the archer.
No.
So maybe that's the problem. The Nico is going to be banned away, as well as the Nami. So that is going to shore up some potential bottom lanes, as the Hui and Jace to be removed here from Gen.G.
Yeah, I kind of like both of these bans from DN Supers. You know, the Jace I was thinking might come out as, you know, that strong range pick that we know Keen can play, but also with the prospect of maybe being into the Varus. The Hui did get buffed, but we're still seeing a decent amount of play beforehand anyway, and if you have the lockdown of the Maokai, and you just land all your abilities, it's pretty strong.
Well, what is the answer to the Annie? Akali is a consideration here. Okay, interesting one.
Yeah, so we normally see Aurora into the Annie, but obviously Aurora's been taken away by Fearless.
I actually think it's kind of smart to save the Annie priority until after you've used the Aurora already.
Yeah.
It's kind of really cute from DNS.
Makes it pretty unchecked. Lucian gonna come through. Oh. Lucian Milio, a lot of value into the Maokai here. Honestly, Milio in general, because playing into the Maokai, you have the AoE cleanse, which can just render the ult useless, but also the Mega Fire Kick into the Akali.
Yeah.
Really disruptor. And like, I feel like that ability, when you get hit by it, the hang time where you're in the air.
That's Nefiri.
We did see this top lane into Varus specifically. It didn't have the most fun time early, and then it just clicked its buttons in team fights and kind of won.
Yeah.
I believe it was Perfect who played it.
I think so, yeah. I can't exactly remember off the top of my head who played it, but I do remember it having a horrible time in lane and then actually being okay after that.
Yeah, it was perfect who played it. So
there you go.
Yeah, a lot of kill threat, and if you have Maokai, Neferi, they are both point and click. You know, if you get in range as a Maokai, but the range of the Neferi is insane. So there's a lot of targets that they can just kind of decide we're going to kill. I think a lot of backline threat from both teams, ultimately. This is going to be an explosive game. I think very momentum-based.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of champions where you can see them being completely useless or unstoppable.
I mean, that's Neferi in general. That's just how she works.
But, you know, Akali, Lucian, a lot of picks where I think really feast or famine. So early game should have a lot of impact, but we've seen again, sometimes, you know, early game goes amiss with some of these picks, and then someone oversteps and you just one-shot them.
I have to say, I think that these drafts are a lot more fun than what we saw in game number 1, and could be pretty explosive as we get towards the mid-game. Let's see how it goes. All right, DN Supers fans in full voice here today. And let's just see whether they're going to be rewarded for their faith after this one. I do like the keep it simple style of composition that they have. There's a lot of
keep it simple style. I like,
yeah.
You know.
So it's you know, it's still the KISS strategy, except it's just a little bit more positive.
Yeah, a little nicer.
Yeah. They're not able to kill the ward either. This is absolutely massive. As Chovy going to get stunned as he walks towards the minions. Kind of frustrating, but he still manages to get them.
One thing you do have to be cautious about in this 2v2 bot lane is, I mean, we've hit this so many times with Inara, but if she gets wave access, she's super strong when the passive is built up. Lucian is one of these picks where you kind of have your cooldowns, you have your rotation, and then you're just there. So if you go in for a trade, you use everything, and Inara has the passive stacked up. Even if you win the initial trade, she can just run you down. You have to be really cautious about that. We didn't get to see what happened bot lane. I assume they didn't. They weren't cautious about that based on Dr. M's health.
Yeah, Ruler also just kind of pressed barrier for fun.
It was a zoning barrier.
Yeah, the good old zoning barrier. It is a powerful thing. Zoning Slurkle comes through there as well, as Dr. has his health bar halved.
That was nicely played though. You like dash in, get a double auto, and then back off because Ruler pops the Q, and then you know you sort of burn that cooldown. I think a lot of people expect Lucian to be like crushing lane, but definitely there's a lot of. This is why I think Lucian has struggled sometimes in pro. There's definitely a level of execution to making him work.
Yep, I also think that level 3 is very valuable for Lucian as well. As it's just kind of awkward as Keen possibly going for an all-in against Dudu here, who does have a barrier available. The flash out of the way, and Dudu outplays it. The Ignite's ticking, the minions are angry, but Dudu stands tall, and that's a solo kill for First Blood.
You know, there's so much damage from a Neferi with Ignite, but the barrier coming in clutch from Dudu. Typically, we see Exhaust on Vara's top, but I think barrier, clearly the play here, ends up finding that 1v1 advantage. Didn't even burn flash for that, so... You know, I think Keen might be going down the perfect line of hoping that a bad early game is going to be saved by a strong late game.
Let me go back to some outcome-focused assessment for you, though, Orcs. What was the outcome of that Neferi game?
You did perfect.
Yeah. So there we go. I rest my case. As Canyon looking to try and even things up here as the bottom lane is under fire. Ruler is on 200 health, though, as Quantum could be in some trouble. There's the flash in, and they do manage to take down the Melio very comfortably. And the tree will just wander his way out. Flash had to be expended there by the jungler, but both bottom laners held onto theirs, and that is very, very strong for Gen.G.
Yeah, I honestly think not the worst for DN Supers, considering only one of them died. We'll see this replay first, and I'll talk about it. This is Dudu going aggressive. You know, barriers early, just landing everything.
Yeah.
He saw the angle, went in aggressively, and it was really close, but he managed to survive it.
Lived on 18 health. At the lowest point there as well.
About an 18 health again at the start
hang
of
on
that.
a second.
But yeah, I think the bot lane play with how low their health was, I was really concerned they would both die.
Whoa.
The fact only only Quantum goes down, he saves his flash, Docdam gets to pick up the farm. I think bot lane didn't go as bad as it could have. Top lane though, Keen hits a couple of Qs in a row and suddenly Dudu has to back off. The threat of Canyon a bit too much. And it looks like things kind of going back in return despite the outcome of that 1v1.
Still, he's 300 gold in the lead, but he even managed to go back and buy. And then was just, I guess, hit by a few too many Qs. I mean, the Nefiri gameplay loop is, you know, it's a pretty binary thing. Don't get hit by Qs.
Yeah.
And that's generally, that's it.
If you get hit by one Q, don't get hit by the second Q.
Yeah, that's another good one. And then hopefully everything's okay. It is hard to not get hit by a bunch of the other buttons, especially the ulti when that one does come through. We'll see how Keen is going to use that, though.
Yeah, I mean, the ulti's tricky because, you know, you have your own ult, but obviously the Nefiri has... That was a nice shield just to stop the recall being cancelled. Obviously...
Oh, Chovy going in. Tibbers is blocking a whole bunch of buttons, though. Chovy just presses the next ulti button.
A good Tibbers to block the Shuriken.
Yeah,
from
gorgeously
Closer.
done. And now Chovy could be in a little bit of trouble here as Closer has flash. Tibbers gets angry, but that's just 50 gold to Chovy.
Yeah. So the Tibbers initially to block the Shuriken was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
From Closer, nice read there.
The doggos.
Level 6 now hit by Keen. He immediately walks up.
Yep. And Dudu also immediately walks out. I don't think he's going to stay here for much longer, as there's the ulti, actually. Keen really going aggressive, gets the barrier out, and is just going to call the pack together once again. As man, it is so nice having little doggos to help your last hit as well.
Yep.
As they don't manage to get that one, or at least I don't think so.
That's level 6 for Dudu, though. Did burn the barrier there in that play, so a little bit more vulnerable now.
And I think it's all about whether Keen has W available for when those Chains of Corruption do come on down, as Docdam dashes in once again. That was part of what was buffed for Lucian on this patch. Was once again, his Relentless Pursuit goes to 0 mana. I don't know whether that matters at all, because you do quite like building Essence Reaver.
It did go to 0 mana before, no. I think what they changed was it's less mana early.
I mean, that too. But it didn't. It had been a while. At least I'm pretty sure.
No, it was 40 at rank 1 and 0 at max rank.
Oh, was it still
now
0 at max rank?
Yeah, now it's 32 at 1 and 0 at max rank. And it's 2 seconds less at rank 1. I think the reason that's big is a lot of people had started going W max second. So people had moved to W max second, so they've made Relentless Pursuit a lot more powerful with just 1 point in it. So, I mean, even before, you were keeping 1 point in it for a while. Now there's even more reason to. So it's a big power boost. You have more mana early, you have more dashes early, and this carries through to quite a late stage in the game. But yeah, a lot of people were going the W, which is called...
Ardent Blaze.
Ardent Blaze.
Chains of Corruption, decent answer there to Keen, who does press W eventually, and there is the Ignite going down. And Dudu dealing with a bleed and an Ignite means that he just loses out on the trade. Still keeps himself alive, holds onto the flash. That is a big deal. But Keen starting to run away with this. However, Pioshik in the area, Chovy rotating up as well. Could be a 2v2, as Pioshik just doesn't have vision on where he is. Oh dear. Chovy just going to walk in and see whether he can kill Dudu. Flash up and available here, as
nice
he will just wander out of the way. Still, Flash has to be used.
Yeah, I mean, Flash used, but the fact he didn't die there on that low HP, I was assuming it was just a guaranteed. I do think Dudu also played the 1v1 well, because basically the timing when you want to ult the Nefiri is when she channels her ult in on you.
Yep.
Because then she's locked in the animation.
Oh. There are cats here in this bottom lane. Quantum is very dead. Docdam could be following suit. However, they don't want to redive. His Closer was rotating down and is unable to actually affect the play. Still, it will mean some grubs go over. But, if at first you don't succeed, or do succeed, just come and do it again. As Canyon will be connecting that Twisted Advance. And Docdam, flash or no, is very dead.
Yoshik might have to leave.
Oh, that's so cute. Actually electing not to use it until Chovy actually does come in and pressure him away.
Unfortunately, that's going to be grubs for Gen.G, so they're winning on the top side of the map in that regard, and they got a crushing play bot. I feel like we haven't seen Maokai that much for a while, but this was just always textbook Maokai is
Yep.
the massive ult in the bot lane, dive in turrets, and Quantum, sacrifices himself to try and save his AD carry, but then his AD carry dies anyway, so pretty unfortunate in that regard. Not having the ult available for the Milio really make or break in that situation.
Yep. Keen now just farming with his Q here towards the top side, as we can see. Dudu back to lane, and does have his cull ticking down. And now sitting at 1-0-0 on this Varus. I think he is still feeling all right, but a lot of these trades do seem to be going Keen's way at this stage.
Yeah.
Quantum making his way back down as Docked Arm. See whether he can actually stay alive here, as good fire kick there onto Ruler for the disengage. Does feel like the Yunara is still pretty happy in this lane.
Yeah, I think the Lucian's struggling right now. In a bit of a deficit. Being forced away there.
Yep, Chovy connects the backflip. That closer, I think, is going to be just fine. Keen gets the cannon and then looks for the ulti onto Dudu. Does have barrier once again, but no flash up and available. And so that should mean a dead Varus here. Presses W as Keen avoids as much as he can. And Dudu actually playing it about as well as he possibly can here at the same time as Canyon. Oh, Bramble Smash, not quite enough. And Pyosik is here to help them out. Oh no! He blast coned without Canyon, or without Dudu. And Dudu is now going to have to deal with this Kitty Cat chasing after him. Never mind, Kitty Cat loses interest. It's still bad news, but he remains an unkilled Varus.
That was down to the wire. Multiple points. I was like, okay, he's dead. Okay, he's not. Okay, he's dead. Okay, he's alive.
I thought he was dead the whole time until he was alive.
Yeah, well, just goes to show. A good attempt, I think, from Gen.G, but the damage wasn't quite there. I think Keen that time, Dudu was quite late with his ultimate, and Keen didn't manage to avoid it still. And I think that was potentially a factor in them not getting as much damage down. Keen getting chunked out, kind of meant he held off. And you're looking down towards the bot lane, but he has no ult, and Quantum has his, so I just don't think there's a ton he can do. But to be honest, he doesn't need to. It's a 1,200 gold lead for Ruler in the bot lane already.
They've done their job. Ruler is ready to carry. Doesn't quite have item number 1 just yet, but will have it on this back. There is the Kraken Slayer. And 21 stacks left on that Cull as well. So Docked Arm, I think he might be able to complete Essence Reaver here, but that's Ardent Sensor as well. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, at least it isn't however many years ago.
Yeah. What was it? 9 years ago. So the Ardent Sensor isn't quite as broken as it used to be, as Dudu going for another aggressive move. Keen just bounces out of the way. Sometimes these all-ins aren't really working. One
of the things that's just crazy about Neferi is the cooldown of her E is so low that I swear it's like you just use it and it's like, there's some cooldowns where it's like you use it and it's like, okay, it's now unavailable. And it feels like that ability is never unavailable.
Yep.
You just spam it.
Tibbers. Oh, good control here from Closer.
Very hard to punish the Neferi for overstepping.
Well, that is what Dudu is attempting to do right now. As his name is Do multiple times. So, I mean, he should be able to do it. If anyone can, Dudu can.
It is his year as well.
Yep.
We saw a fan sign saying it. That means it must be true.
Exactly. Always trust the fan signs. As the Dragon going to get started here by Gen.G, possibly by accident.
This is not an easy dive.
Well, let's see whether Pyosik can make it happen. Just presses the Cyclone button as the W does come on through. Second activation is going to work for Pyosik. Oh, okay. That is a dead Neferi.
I don't
Where did he go?
He needed to ult in there, if I'm being honest. But I think he did a lot good. And then went a little bit over-aggressive, trying to punish Pyosik. Maybe scared of the redive without cooldowns.
Is the sacrifice worth it, though? As Docked Arm and Quantum have discontinued playing League of Legends.
I mean, that's the thing, is top lane, this game has been interesting to watch. We've been pretty focused on it. We've been putting a lot of attention towards there. Does it matter?
Probably not.
Probably not. Bot lane is so far ahead.
He's 2 stacks away. So that's... Oh, God. So Cull just cashed in 2.5k gold. In a game that's like had only 5 kills, it feels like that lane is entirely over. So that looked like Dudu one-shot the turret, but he didn't.
Doesn't get hit by the ult. I think Dudu just missed it. It wasn't even the W came out at the time. But then I guess he was low enough. Maybe if he ulted, if he didn't ult, he was like, I'm going to die. But he still had flash. I don't know. It's hard to say. But ulting out of the tower definitely did not keep him alive.
No. Might have just been dead anyway, but that's fine. Played it as best he could. Does have the Eclipse now complete. That is going to be a very good item, especially in the laning phase, if that is going to continue. Level 11 is now done, so has another rank in that ulti. And even on farm, 1.2k though, the lead for Dudu. But 2.2k is the lead for Gen.G. So that means that elsewhere, things are perhaps going wrong.
2.7k lead for Ruler. Yeah.
It's all right. Lucian will outscale.
You know what's actually really unfortunate as well?
What's that?
So you know how you have a cashback?
Yep.
So if you complete an item, so sometimes when people are an item ahead, that can explain big goal discrepancies. They've completed the same number of items. That's not the case.
Yeah.
The AD carry, or the bot lane quest completion gives you extra gold. So that could also explain a big gold gap. No, they both completed that.
Yeah.
So there's no, he's just that far ahead.
Fire kick gonna go wide. And Dr. and Quantum certainly not wanting to fight this as teleport to come in. This is an odd one from Closer, although he was a player on TSM. Wild Growth does come on through. And Chovy is able to find the perfect execution to get himself out of there. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the fight, Doctor takes a lot of damage, but also gives a lot as Ruler will be taken down very low. They've got an extra 80 carry here with Dudu in the mix. As Shuriken backflip doesn't quite connect, but Chovy gets himself to safety. Keen finally makes his way in. As Tibbers was tanking up that turret, they will be able to eviscerate the minion wave. It's now Canyon finally moving on over.
No, he's doing Herald.
I think he just wants to do Herald. You're exactly right. All right, Chovy, can you find the angle? No ulti there. And that will just be Gen.G defending their turret. And the DN Supers wanting to stop Canyon from just taking Shelly for free.
Everyone's so low.
This is such a weird situation.
Yeah. And DNS are a little bit too scared to go for the Herald, but also Gen.G are kind of scared to step up. It's a very tense moment.
Yeah, Slurkled, fair bit of value there as Doctor dashes forward. Chovy gets into the mist. That is going to keep him alive. My goodness, that piercing arrow almost just kills him. But he does stay alive. And Keen's also going to be able to take a plate here in this top lane as well. The fact that Gen.G just got Rift Herald while that was all happening, that's the kind of weird part to me.
Yeah.
All right, Doctor going aggressive, but the culling is just aimed the wrong way. Ruler is able to walk it off.
This is zoning culling.
Ah, that's right.
A lot of zoning abilities this game.
Yeah, I didn't see what he was supposed to be, but I'm not the pro player.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't understand. I think that's probably what it is. Quantum completes some Lucidity boots. Got the Hellier now done as well, as Doctor looking for Rapid Fire Cannon second. But he's 46 CS behind, still 2.5k behind, and yeah, Ruler's got 2 items done. Pyoshi could also be in a little bit of trouble here, but so could Duro, finding himself in a very awkward position.
Oh,
there's the Wild Growth onto Chovy. 5-point strike land. Where did the Lulu go?
That was a magic trick.
Wow.
Make the Lulu disappear.
Yeah.
It was a great Wild Growth there, and I was like, oh, wow, actually, this might be... No, that was not enough to survive.
No.
Those are just one-shot you.
Would have been good if Duro used it on himself, I guess. As Chovy's going to be discovered by Tibbers.
I think he probably... With how quickly he got one-shot, I think he was just dead.
Yeah,
I think he was just, like, still dead, just maybe a slight bit slower.
Yeah. All right, Canyon wanders up to this mid lane. Roller's still here. Does have a Lulu making her way back from the Death Chamber.
Okay, that's a lot of damage.
Be careful, yeah. Oh, Pyoshik also looking for an angle. Level 11, so an extra point in that Cyclone is pretty scary on this Wukong.
You know, Gen.G have gold lead. They have the 80 carry massively ahead, but it does feel like this mid game is just all DN Supers.
Yeah, I think it feels similar to game 1.
Yeah, a big aspect of the Lucian is just being able to control. I mean, we've seen this so much from Lucian Nami, but controlling the mid prior. But now,
yeah, pressing the ulti button as Ruler goes in. They do manage to get on top of Quantum. They take him out as Pyoshik goes aggressive, looking for Ruler. The flash out from the Inara is not enough to save Ruler. And now Doctom might be all right. His close is just dead. Chovy finds the flank angle, and the Glitterlands connects. Doctom gets hit by the Twisted Advance, and that barrier will not be saving him. Now Pyoshik able to use the Warrior Trickster in order to escape, but that is still a big win here for Gen.G.
That's how you can punish it. You know, go in with the Maokai, and even with the ultimate from the Milio, just not really enough to get them to safety. Chovy finding the solo kill on the flank as well, and now with Herald coming in, this is Gen.G kind of regaining control, punishing the overstep from the DN Supers.
And they should be able to drop down towards this dragon as well. And it's an Infernal Soul this game. That is a lot of power here for Gen.G. Double charge for Shelly. And a 2.7k gold lead will now erupt.
So Quantum ulted a bit early here. Maybe was concerned he was going to die and needed the health burst, but it meant they did get rooted for a moment. It still gives a tenacity afterwards though, it's not a huge deal, but Pioshik's chunked out, and you know, with the Milio down, the Lucian can't do that much, just gets chased away. Chovy just murders Closer.
Yeah, Closer just didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, the stun missed at the end as well, which is pretty unfortunate, but I don't think it would have made a difference, to be honest. The Gunblade Akali, pretty fearsome if it gets on top of you. And we've seen, you know, the early interactions where Closer was blocking the Shuriken with the Tibbers. Oh. I guess that's what happens if you don't pull it off.
Yeah, that was a do-don't right there.
It's fine, he has a Hexblade, so he'll get it back
real
no
fast.
time at all.
Exactly. Probably not in time to stop this dragon from going down. As Pioshik clearing out control vision around this Baron. I don't think Gen.G really need to worry about pulling off this Drake, because that will go down very, very quickly. Closer here towards his top side, looking for Chovy. Does have the stun now put together. As, yep, just gets himself out of the way. Chovy deals with the wave, and Shroud is just pretty strong.
Yeah, hard solo laners to dive in general.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know, either invisibility, untargetability, mobility.
Ooh, Chovy does find the backflip. But I thought maybe he'd go in.
They've gone very heavy on the top side.
Yeah.
I think it kind of makes sense when you are behind to like really put effort to one side of the map. If you know you can't contest on even ground. And they are going to be able to defend this bot tier 2, so altogether I think a decent play from the DN Supers.
A couple of plates do go over to Keen there, but he still doesn't have an advantage. Still 2-0 for Dudu. Playing it quite well. Keen with the teleport advantage right now though, and we'll be able to go back and probably put together a Black Cleaver now.
I'm still a little bit extremely concerned about the bot lane situation.
A little bit extremely?
Yes.
Okay. I am too, but mainly just extremely.
Ah, okay, well.
Because it's a Yunara.
Yeah, with a Lulu.
And it's Ruler.
With a big gold lead.
Yeah. Tough times. There's also a dash cannon now on Chovy. Kali probably didn't need more dashes, but she now has them. And so he is also going to be very, very frightening. Currently with a slight gold advantage, but I imagine the Akali is still going to be able to kill her mark if she wants to.
Does the Rocket Bell have like a full name? Because you know how it used to be like, what was like Hextech Proto Bell?
Yeah, does
now
it have like a number or a serial number thing on it?
Now?
I just call it Dash Cannon.
I mean, I know you do, but...
Yeah. Dudu is just going to get shot with a sword, which is weird, and then just taken down. Keen going to be able to lock up that kill. Cyclone comes in from Pioshik to try and lock this one up himself, but it's 1 versus 2, and I don't know whether he has it. He might be able to kill Keen, though, as Chovy just teleports out, because there are a lot of bad guys on their way over, and they had Baron on the mind.
Yep, that's going to be the focus here. Chovy says you're on your own, Keen, and knowing that there's no ult charges for Pioshik left available to interrupt, they go straight to the Baron now. Wukong shouldn't get here in time, but they're going to try and do as much damage as possible.
Yep, Canyon threw out the ulti there just to make sure. That is going to be Baron secured. Pretty late smite, but it doesn't matter because Pioshik was nowhere near. So Gen.G just need to try and get out with this Baron still intact. The DN Supers looking to try and get on over here, but walking into the darkness is so hard. There is a bear to drop on top of Ruler, though, who does have just Duro behind him, and that was enough to make him feel brave. Still, Dudu gets in there with a teleport, Chains of Corruption connects, and there is nothing left to keep Ruler alive. I feel like they didn't necessarily need to do that, but the ulti forward from Keen, they take down Closer, and now Gen.G are looking to try and punish. There's the perfect execution, gets on top of Quantum. 5-point strike will do it. Fire kick is going to be enough to get him out of the way of the next one, but there goes Pioshik. Gets a double kill for Canyon, and the last Q gets in there. That's the ace, and Gen.G, they were just using Ruler as bait.
It was pretty effective, I'll tell you that. This play on the bot side, I mean, playing Varus and Neferi is already a bit uncomfortable. Neferi Akali just so unfun.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, Pioshik comes in, pops his ult, and then commits the second charge pretty early for the damage, and Chovy just goes, oh, you have nothing, I'm out. Immediately starts a TP, there's nothing the Wukong can do, and he's not in range in time. And then this play, you know, they're chasing into, look, the sapling chunks out Dokdam as well. It's so hard to chase them here. They want to wait for the Varus backup. but the Neferi backup when everyone is so low HP is so much scarier. Like, they connect the ult, they get Ruler, but Ruler does a good amount of damage back, and then Neferi turns up, jumps in, uses a W so you can't get CC'd in return, and it's just free pickings from there.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
The reset as well.
Kind of obscene. And this is the thing, I mean, it's a multi-threat comp, and Ruler is the main character. He still has a 2.6k gold advantage. He does have shield bow now complete. I actually kind of like that instead of an IE, just with how aggressive he's been playing. But the fact that they dangle Ruler out there and then use that in order to force an overcommit from the DN Supers, and now they've got a minute left on this Baron. It's a 4,000 Red Bull Baron power play. As now there's an ulti under the turret. The wild growth in tandem with this Neferi is so scary. They'll take the turret and they'll take even more as Closer going down very low. It's a good fire kick once again. The Quantum just going to get engaged on here, and Ruler is dashing underneath inhibitor turrets. Carefree, not worried about anything at all as Slurkle connects onto Dudu, and now he might just be able to kill the Varus as well as Ruler just throws the autos in. That's a really nice polymorph as well to make sure that Dudu couldn't do anything. And they are one Melio away from an ace and one Nexus away from a 2-0.
There's something about these point-and-click ults with the Lulu, you know, like the Nocturne Lulu, the Neferi Lulu. It's just so hard to deal with. And Gen.G, this series is a lot of back and forth, a lot of close scraps, but in the end, it's these decisive finishes that have kind of defined them.
Yep, in goes Keen one more time. These health bars are getting low, but the Nexus even lower, and that is Gen.G locking down the 2-0 against the DN Supers. That is going to move them into third place.
It will probably be Cody here. But to be fair, I think he played really well. I think on both the Akali and Zay had a really big impact.
Yep.
But we'll see. There might be a mix of votes as well. I think.
Yeah, him also like getting that solo kill sort of off camera on Closer during this game as well, just kind of ridiculous. I think Ruler had a great game. Had a pretty good series as well. The Ziggs was brilliant, honestly.
Yeah.
So there could be arguments there.
Honestly, should I have just voted for him for the Ziggs alone?
I think as Orcs, you absolutely should have.
Yeah, am I being true to myself? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
He also built the right items. I mean, you really want to be encouraging.
I should be rewarding him for what he did. Yeah, man. I'm just...
You may have done a whoopsie. You may have done a whoopsie.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah, that's all right. Having a look here, Gen.G, it was a slow game. As you can see with the gold graph, it was kind of flatlined for a lot of it, and then they just kind of turned on a dime. That Baron play was just so much, and Chovy will be able to pick it up. Unfortunately, Orcs did not vote for the Ziggs, and therefore Chovy gets his third POM.
Yeah, doing the pose that he took of Dagon, you know.
Yeah.
The classic.
Pretty impressive.